Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bog Panda. We're going to talk a little bit about Nita Strauss and her awesome current tour. I'm Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram.
I am Dr. Mike, Official Pagan on everything. And before we go any further, remember who's the one who has not threatened anyone in Alice Cooper's band. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment about what a nice guy I am. And then, you know what? Why don't you hit up our merch store, pick a few things up, and while you're perusing the excellent selection there, you might as well put on some hard nose in the background. It is the world's shortest podcast, so you can knock out a few episodes.
Absolutely. Minimal time investment, maximum enjoyment. Give it a shot. Hard no. So just wanted to report from the field. We talked about it in a couple episodes. As folks who are regular watchers of the show know, we're big Alice Cooper fans. I'm a big Chuck Garrick fan. I've never threatened Chuck. I love Bisto Blanco. Fake news, disinformation from Mike.
Is
Uh,
it fake news when there's a video game about it?
yeah, still fake news. Still fake news. But the it's as real as your doctor degree. I guess it's a good
I'm
way
a
to,
doc. I have a doctor's office. I mean,
yeah.
what
So
more proof do you need?
paying rent don't mean that you're a doctor. Anyway, we've covered that before. But I was fortunate enough that Nita Strauss, who after Alice's most current tour wrapped up, went on a solo run. She's doing real well for herself in terms of getting lots of kudos on Top Guitarist and guitar magazines. Her fairly recent single, Victorious, with Dorothy doing the vocals, has done really, really well. She played that the night that we saw her because she and the crew hit Bloomington, Illinois, and I got to see her at a local venue and had a great time. So just wanted to kind of report briefly out about it. She's got a decent number of dates left. You should check it out if she comes in your area. You should definitely go see it. It was really fun to see her play. It was great. It was a bit of an interesting experience for me because, and actually, Bisto did this as well. The one of the times I saw them, two opening acts, and so my hunch is that particularly when there are bands that are up and coming, trying to get a little more traction, but they got some pull like Anita would or Bisto Blanco that they want to kind of raise a few other ships as well. So they bring in, you get a chance to kind of see, you're there to see them, but you're going to actually be exposed to two other groups as well. And so for the concert I saw, Homesick from Michigan opened up, was the first band, followed by Lions at the Gate, who have been kind of her primary opening act throughout there. And they are, and I'm with an expert that can help me clarify if I'm wrong here. I'm going to depict their music as metalcore. I'm going to say that that's their genre. Would you take issue with that as a genre style?
I mean, so do I take issue with metalcore or with
With me
with
using
that
metalcore
music?
with me describing a band's body of work as metalcore. Is that
No,
legit?
I mean, I haven't listened to enough of their stuff to say if they get lumped in with metalcore. I personally am not a fan of metalcore though. So if you didn't like it, then I would say metalcore.
Okay. Wikipedia says it's metalcore.
Oh,
So
there. I mean, if Wikipedia says it, I have so many problems with Wikipedia. I'm just going to go off a quick tangent, just a couple seconds. I'm now on two different Wikipedia pages, and I don't have a Wikipedia page, and it makes me angry. Anyway,
what's that now?
you can't cite me Wikipedia on other people's pages, and then not have like my stuff on that. Anyway, it's
Okay, I'm gonna pick a fight with Wikipedia now. Just get our list. Hanson, Wikipedia. Looking
Wikipedia
down.
right there. No, somebody had put quite a while ago, somebody had put up a pagan Wikipedia page and it got pulled down and they put it up again and it got pulled down. So they told me about it, like I know Mr. Wikipedia and could do something like this. And I was like, yeah, I've never done anything editing Wikipedia, so I don't know. But I do think it's funny that I am cited on different pages, but they took that down for some reason. So it's weird.
Yeah, my brief Wikipedia appearance. I used to edit the Tony OK page on occasion, and I had created, and this is a kids, you're not going to know what this is, but trust me, when web pages were first starting off, people created these sites where you could go and very easily create a web page that looked really, really sad. But one of the big ones was GeoCities, which was the idea of anybody can have a website and go do it. And so I made a GeoCities site called RAD, RHAD, Red Hot Acronyms of Death. And it was exclusively dedicated to Tony OK. And I just splurged all the information that I knew about Tonio on there, including an article that I remembered reading but could never cite where, that was going through what his album was going to be, and it's going to have Russian Don't Even Like Your Mama on it, and Funky Western Civilization Phase 2, and the Wikipedia entry. I'll have to check if it's still the case, but it actually was it was actually cited in Wikipedia for a while as a source about Tony OK. But I think those days are gone. I think Rad, because Rad is gone, so I think it's there. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. But back to Nita and metalcore. I'm not a big metalcore fan either, and but props to particularly Heartsick, in that they go all in. It was a hair flipping, head spinning night. There was a lot of this going on all night from nearly everybody, including Nita's band. But and she's got that big blonde mane of hair that when she starts to do that, it's a very visual cartwheel. There were 2 or 3 bald individuals doing it, and it just looks like it hurts, because they just think it, but
Loses the effect.
Yeah, but the lead singer for Heartsick was all about crowd participation. This was not Bloomington, Illinois, probably not noted as the most hardcore city out there. And so it was a bunch of people there to see Nita. Probably not the core metalcore base would be my hunch. But he was not having it. He was, you are going to become very much into this. And I'm going to almost threaten you, but in a nice way. But he got into people's faces quite a bit, including the setup was interesting because this place is called the Castle. It's a converted old Art Deco theater. And for a period of time when they were showing films, they had a bunch of couches in there and you could go and just sit on the couch and watch a movie. It was pretty cool. I think they've moved beyond that to more of a concert venue now. And so what they have is about 8 feet from the stage, there's a 6 inches wide plank that runs across on a couple pipes that you can set your drink on, and bar stools underneath it. And then about another 8 to 10 feet, and there's another one of those, another 8. So you've got kind of like little sections, and then a pathway down the middle. And so you can have some people right up on the band, then that first table, and then some more people, and then another table. And so I positioned myself close, but not too close. So I was back a buffer or two. But during his set, he came out and came through the crowd and then stood on the first of the tables and was on top of it doing it, then jumped off of that into the group of people behind that table. So he's one section away from me at that point, and is just having it out, just singing hard and doing that. And then later in the show actually made it back into my territory, got that far back, and kind of, it wasn't really mosh pitting with a guy, but there was a guy kind of seated on his bar stool and this guy's on the table in front of him, and they're kind of bumping and tussling a little bit, but it was he was just super high energy, really. I mean, super impressive. And the cool thing is afterwards they're back there with their merch and stuff, meeting folks, and he was like the most soft-spoken, level-headed guy, just just kind of talking, which was just like a light switch. But while I'm not, like I said, a huge metalcore fan, in terms of particularly lead singer's performance in Heartsick, thumbs up. And there is some stuff on my Instagram of them. You can kind of check that out. There may be a little video that plays during this that I unfortunately don't Don't have a photo of him up on a table, but I might be able to secure one before we post this, and I'll try and include that as well. Lions at the Gate, kind of a little bit more of the same, but they lacked the power of this lead singer. Then Nita came out. It was about an hour-long set, 13 songs. First half was all instrumental, and tons of great guitars, a lot of stuff off of her first album, Controlled Chaos. Really, really good. And then she went into Victorious and stuff off of her most current album. And at this point, Casey Carlson comes out and joins them. So Casey got named fairly recently as the individual coming in and doing singing duties. And so she comes out on stage, looks like a rocker girl. She's got the long hair, dyed kind of some purple and pink in there, kind of a petite-ish young lady coming out. And I had, welcomed Nita's guitar work as a welcome refresher from a barrage of metalcore that I had been exposed to. And I was like, okay, so now we're going to get this like really strong, kick-ass rock and roll female vocalist. And so Casey's going to do the first song, and she gets to the middle of the stage, and she goes right into metalcore again, just as loud and as growly and as strong as either of the two male lead singers before her. So I was like, oh, great. But it wasn't just that, but she can, when the song requires it, and that's the delivery, she has no problem in just belting it out in a serious way. So I really was surprised when she first started to sing. I was like, wow, hello. I thought we were done with this, but no. But it was pretty good. But then she also, did other things well, because like Victorious, Nita song's not a metalcore song. It's really good. And then they close with Pantera's Cowboys from Hell. And that seems to be that's the last number all the time. And she sang the shit out of that one too. She did a great job. And of course, Anita does awesome stuff on guitar, but it was really cool. Band finishes, and they've been tossing picks out to the crowd. Now I'm back far enough that I'm really not a candidate for any of this. But the drummer, who happens to be also her manager and boyfriend, Josh Villata, takes his drumstick and flips it out to the crowd. Now he put an arc on it, and it kind of cleared the first group of folks, and the little aisle that ran between the two sections was open. So it hit, and it bounced. So it took a big bounce. It took a big enough bounce that it's now coming to my territory, and I'm right on the line, right on the edge of where that little pathway is. And so in my mind, I'm like, this is the moment where I look super cool, because I'm going to reach out and I'm going to grab that. It was at a perfect height for me to go out and just nab that drumstick and be Mr. Cool. Everybody go, you're cool. Everybody's going to be super fine. So that's what I thought in my mind was going to happen. And then reality came crashing down in a hurry, which was I touched the drumstick. I hit it, but it came nowhere close to catching it. I think at that point I said, and turned to try and get it. Now, I'm thinking my experience in goodies tossed from the stage come from mostly Alice Cooper concerts. And there's a battle when the writing crap goes out or these types of things. You don't just pick that up off the floor. Somebody's going to fight you for it. So I assumed, since I missed my cool guy moment and now it's a grounder, that I'm going to have to battle for my drumstick. And so I turned, and I then tried to reach down and get it, and was like trying to do it quickly because I figured there was going to be a fight, which kind of resulted in me falling completely down onto the floor, and then having to crawl about 2 or 3 steps to get to the drumstick. But I got the drumstick.
Worth it. Worth it.
Meanwhile, there's, I don't know, 5 or 6 people standing around me going, an idiot. It was like there was no battle, there was no fight. People are like, dude, you want the drumstick, get the drumstick, relax. And so, but the point is, I got the drumstick, and
All
the
that matters.
exception of this show, that story's not going on anymore. It's just, oh yeah, he was there, he threw it out, I got it. But it was a cool guy moment spoiled. Could have been awesome, but didn't happen.
Still very cool, sir.
Yeah, yeah, it was awesome. They're great. If you get a chance, see them. It's a good show. I said the opening material. If you don't happen to be a metalcore fan, you're gonna get a dose. But if and I know Lions at the Gate is touring with them all the time. I don't know where Heartsick, but as actually super cool is that Nita actually mentioned it at the end of her set, and it was pointed out to me when I was watching the Heartsick set. Is Nita came down and kind of came out the side stage door, so she was kind of on the floor just off to the side, and she watched all their set because she said later, says I was upstairs getting ready and I heard these guys, and I just had to come down. So she came down and watched the whole set. So if they do happen to be on other bills, check them out because they definitely impressed her, and they were a good thing. The other thing that was like even more impressive about Heartsick was their drummer missed the flight. Something happened where the drummer missed the flight. Basically, the drummer was not there. And so 1 o'clock the evening before the show, 1 o'clock in the morning, the evening before the show, they called up this other guy and said, hey, we got this gig tomorrow. Our drummer's not going to be there. You want to learn the songs and play tonight, or play today, since it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. So this guy drove 10 hours from Michigan. I'm assuming listening to Heartsick all the way down because he learned all the songs on the way down. And you wouldn't, had they not told you, you would never have guessed that this guy was trying to feel his way through. He did a great job. So, had a guy step in in a great way. So that was, he had a great lead singer. He had this cool drummer story. Nita loved him. So what's not to like? So Heartsick might be worth a look.
Very cool, sir. Now, was that your first time seeing her live as a solo artist?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was good. It was, and there's been a couple articles out there too. It's like, well, why don't you ever sing? And she's like, I'm not, it's not that she can't sing. She goes, but I'm not like, like a top-notch singer. I said, I'm not a bad guitar player, but I'm not a great singer. So I figure for my music, if I'm going to have singing, I'm going to get somebody who can really bring it. And so that's why she typically has guest vocalists, including Mr. Cooper on her most recent album. So there's lots of good stuff. But yeah, I recommend, check Nita out if you get a chance. It's a good show. It's great to see her out there, and she sure seemed to be enjoying it. And everybody was super friendly at the merch booth and all that kind of stuff. And then I didn't end up sticking around, but she was like, yeah, stick around for selfies and stuff like that. So much like Bistro Blanco, I think that working hard to kind of fans that appreciate them, they're showing appreciation back, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the report. Any other questions outside of the key thing is I have the drumstick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the most important takeaway is you have the drumstick. You didn't threaten to hit her at any point, I assume. So
I did not.
That's always good.
I did not. Yeah. Just like I've never threatened to hit anyone. But I didn't use a punch as a unit of measurement either.
This time you were thrown drumstick away.
This would have, if I were to make that mistake again, no, I'm not going to. But it would probably be, I could explain, no, I'm not going to do it because then I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. It would not have been, she was not as close to me. I was not as close to the band as I was with Bistro Blanco. We'll leave it at that.
That's fair.
And notice
how big is that venue that you went to?
Oh, not huge. I think it would probably hold about maybe 300 if you're jamming them in. And it wasn't packed. It was a good crowd. It wasn't like it was empty, but there was room for me to get the drumstick, and so I didn't have to fight through a big crowd there. But it's kind of a similar setup to a lot of the other smaller places that you had this kind of section in the front with those little mini tables and seats, and then further back there were tables, and so there were some folks that just sat back there and enjoyed it. Same deal at the Top Fuel Saloon where I saw Bisto Blanco, same kind of situation, and then just kind of a big front section where you can be up close to the band. So it was a good show.
Bog Panda.